everybody, this is Pastor Zach. I'm interrupting the 5-minute countdown for just a moment to tell you to mark your calendars for October 1st through October 4th right here at Flat Creek Baptist Church in our courtyard. We're going to be having a big tent revival. We're going to have awesome preaching. We're going to have awesome singing. We're going to be starting that morning right there in the tent on October 1st during our Sunday school hour at 9:50 a.m. It's going to be an awesome week. You want to make sure you mark your calendars now so that you can be a part of the big tent revival. Now, one more thing. In preparation for that, I also want you to know that coming up the month of September, every Sunday night in September at 5 p.m., we're going to be having Bible study right here in the sanctuary, walking through the book of Philemon in order to prepare your heart for revival. So you also want to make sure you mark your calendars and come out every Sunday night in the month of September at 5 p.m. Thank you so much for listening. And now back to the 5-minute announcements.
Good morning. I also want to interrupt the 5-minute countdown for just a second and get a date on your calendar. September the 6th, that's the first Wednesday in the month of September. That evening, we're going to be having what I'm going to nickname an open house choir rehearsal. Here's the thing. I know some folks might be on the fence. Should I sing? Should I not sing? I can't sing, but I could if I knew how. Well, here's the thing. We want everybody to come and be a part of singing in the choir, be a part of the worship leading team at Flat Creek. If you have been interested at all, you've been wondering if you should give it a try, this will be an excellent opportunity. Come hang out with us. We're going to just have some dessert and snacks, have a good time of fellowship. We will sing a couple of songs, and maybe you can just get a better picture of whether or not you think you would be interested in joining the worship leading team at Flat Creek. That'll be 7 p.m. that evening. The reason it's so late is because we do have prayer meeting, we have Awana, we have youth ministry, and I don't want to take anybody away from their other commitments either. So 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. open house choir rehearsal night. I hope to see you there.
Hello. It is the comeback edition, Brother Caleb, of the Wednesday Word at Flat Creek Baptist Church. It has been a while, my man.
It's been a while.
Since we have enjoyed one of these days together on Wednesdays. We used to do it every Wednesday.
We did.
And here recently, we've just decided, we got to bring it back. The Wednesday Word, the lunch edition, come and hang out together. And then not only that, but to also be able to hang out with some of our...
Wait, hang on. Before we do anything else. Hey, baby.
Oh, boy.
My wife just commented and said hi.
Hey, Kaylee.
What's up, Kaylee?
Hey, Kaylee.
It's good to see you, Kaylee. We're glad you're here. But it is good to come back, and also good, Brother Caleb, to have 2 new staff members with us.
Extras.
And so maybe for those who may not know these 2 staff members, we'll let them introduce themselves.
What's up? My name's Isaac Cooper.
Hey, I'm Breeze.
Woo!
You can hold it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Breeze.
This is our children's director and our youth minister here at Flat Creek Baptist. And so we're so grateful to have them on the Wednesday Word with us. As you see, we are kind of crammed in tight here in Brother Caleb's office. But that's just part of building teamwork. And we also have Breeze's dog, Love, that is running around beneath our feet right now.
So if she bumps the camera,
If
that's
you hear
what's
a little
going on.
jingling, just
Yeah.
to call her.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Awesome.
Oh, boy.
Hello.
There
You wanna
she
say
is.
a word?
There's Love. She has become the church dog, is what she's become. And so we are grateful that she is on here with us today. Issues?
No.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Well, listen, we are going to really try to keep this to a good time frame because we know that many of you might be watching this in the middle of your lunch break, maybe even picking this up while you're cooking dinner later tonight or whatever. And so we want to try to really keep it a nice, tight time frame. One thing that we have been talking about over the last couple of days is just really the way in which God has been moving and working here at Flat Creek Baptist, just really not just over the summertime, but really just this entire year. So we have a lot of things to celebrate. We have actually, this coming Sunday, we are going to be adding 11 new church members, which will take our total of the year up to 100 new members. I'll give a big round of applause. And also, this past Sunday, we baptized our 60th person this church year. Another big round of applause. Yes. And we are so grateful for that. And then every week we're just experiencing more and more church growth. And it's just really been an amazing time to be a part of Flat Creek Baptist Church. And really what's really cool about it, Caleb, is not just seeing how God's moving here, but how God's just really moving in so many places. And so it's really exciting to be a part of something like that. But as we kick back off the Wednesday Word this year, this week, we really thought it would be a good idea for us to take a moment to really share just our own favorite moment from the summertime and just kind of do a little testimony service if we can for just a moment so that everybody can just have an opportunity to share what God has been doing. Go ahead.
One thing real quick first. Kaylee commented, said that we can hear you pretty well without the mic. So let's just try this. Just set it there between y'all. We're testing the new setup. So it's first time back. We got to make sure everything's working right. So if you cannot hear well, just drop a comment. We will see it and we will adjust as needed.
I want my own mic.
We know.
Spoken like a true friend. Anyway, so when we think about like testimony times, testimony services, and those things, I just always go back to Mark chapter number 5, and you might remember there was a demon-possessed man in Mark 5, a legion of demons inside of him, and after Jesus cast those demons out, the Bible says that demon-possessed man, he wanted to go with Jesus. Some commentators say that he really wanted to be one of Jesus' disciples, but Jesus told him to go home to his own people and report to them what great things the Lord has done to you and how he has had mercy on you. And so in kind of the spirit of that, we're just going to share with you some of our favorite moments of what God has done over the summertime. So who would like to start? Oh, I guess me. I had no idea what that was about.
Good.
Okay. That's 'cause I've been talking the whole time. Somebody else go. Caleb, you start, because I've been going the whole time. I've been talking the whole time. That way they don't have to hear from me the whole time.
So obviously, like you said, very, very many high moments this summer. Mission trip. I think that was definitely a high moment for all 4 of us, for sure.
Yep.
I don't want to. Maybe somebody else will be sharing about that later. But for me, probably one of the coolest things that happened all summer long was actually we had a Celebrate Recovery celebration night. And in case you don't know what that is, about, once a quarter, give or take a few weeks, We try to put an emphasis on our Celebrate Recovery ministry, which happens every Thursday evening. You can come eat with us at 6, and then we have a worship service at 7, followed by testimony and preaching, depending on what week it is. And really cool service. But what seemed to make this one so special, sorry, Love is yanking the cable there. What seemed to make this one so special is we had the band set up. We were sound checking. We had a full lineup of people. We had 3 guitars, bass, drums. We had Miss Janet playing piano with us, and we had the whole lineup. We had a full praise team of singers as well. And about 30 minutes into the rehearsal and the sound check, many of you will remember the bad storm we had where we lost a ton of power in our area, all over the county and a lot of places in Georgia besides just Hall County. And so right in the middle of this rehearsal and sound check, everything went dark. We lost all of our sound. We lost amps for the guitars. We lost everything except what you could just audibly hear with acoustic instruments. And probably it was one of the, I've told many of those that were involved with that service that it was really probably one of the top 3 worship services just ever for me. Because as soon as it happened, nobody, freaked out and kind of questioned like, well, how are we going to go on? It was just this immediate like, well, I guess we're just singing and playing without a sound system tonight. Mm-hmm. And we lit candles. We had a few flashlights on the stage so people could read their music and see the chord charts and whatnot. But we carried on. It was just, I think Steven said it, we were talking about it afterwards, and he said it was just a really neat, just kind of let go and worship service. I mean, there was no concern over singing in the right key. There was no worry about making sure we were playing correct rhythms and chords and notes and stuff like that. it's kind of like we've been talking about, kind of just one of those ugly singing kind of things. Like we didn't care who heard it, what it sounded like. We were just all 100% in. Special time, and then your friend JD shared his testimony and had a good word about the prodigal son, and just, I mean, it was just a really good night overall, really special time for me.
Yeah, that was a really cool night. What will always stand out to me about that night, Caleb, was, man, on the backside of that, when we got to the very end, when JD finished sharing his testimony, we went to the time of invitation, and we were calling people to come to Christ. And if you were there, you can testify that this actually did happen. We're calling people to come to Christ, and as we're calling people to come to Jesus during the invitation time, the power did come back on. But when the power came back on in the building, all the lights stayed out except for the light which was shining on the cross, which is in our baptistry. Yeah. And so the whole place is dark, but there's one light on, and it's lighting up the cross. And it was just then that a young man named Marquavius came down and gave his life to Jesus. And that was a really...
It was a special night.
That was really special time.
Hey, Mr. Danny. We appreciate you commenting on the video.
Mr. Danny, right?
Mr. Danny Funderburg.
Danny Funderburg, yes. Coming to Revival in a few weeks. We love Danny Funderburg, the most famous guy we know. And also, we'd like to say here, that he is going to be inducted into the Southern Gospel Music Hall of Fame. Big applause. Yes,
That doesn't make any sense.
That's right.
3 for 4.
Yeah, love Danny Funderburg, and we cannot wait for him to be at Revival in a couple of weeks. So that's a great memory, brother Caleb. Great testimony, man. Never will forget that in my own heart either. And also,
power in the plug. I like that.
So we're gonna turn our attention now. Let Isaac share.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna let you share next, because I know Breeze was saying she didn't really know what memory to share. So we're gonna give her. Well, I'm just saying we're gonna give you extra like 3 or 4 minutes to.
That's good.
Well, you had so many memories. You don't know which one
I can't choose.
You just can't choose which one. So we'll give you 3 or 4 more minutes, and we'll come over here to Isaac and let him share.
Awesome. I wrote all mine down. Prepared. Just really during the summer, I didn't mean to call you out. I'm sorry, but One of my favorite memories, from the summer. You all right, Zach?
Yes. Sorry.
All
Go
right.
ahead. I'm so sorry. Isaac, go ahead.
You're in the live stream with us now, but there's no telling what's going to happen.
That's right. No telling.
So I guess being the new, one of the new employees, getting prepared for Alaska and all the stresses that came with that. Zach knows, Breeze knows, and Caleb and Linda. We need to get Linda in here. What's up with that?
Yeah, she's holding down the fort.
She's holding down
for
the fort
us.
downstairs. Okay.
Downstairs, I told her to tell everybody to hold all of our appointments.
Where's it at?
But
Because we're so busy. Somebody's got to work around here.
That's right. That's right.
I'll work. I try to. But so one of the highlights was to get to know the students coming in as a new guy and not having relationships with the students. I felt like this summer was a great way to bridge that gap with the mission trip, being in a house with all the middle school and high school guys for a week, maybe not all of them, but a good majority of them. You get to really just build those relationships with them. We were stretched on the mission trip, so they got to see me be stretched, and I got to see, Zach be stretched, and Caleb, and just all of our volunteers. So that was cool for me, seeing everybody being stretched, and also just our willingness, our students to serve. I think just in America, or just Christianity in general, Gen Z has a reputation of they don't want to serve, and they just they're kind of out for themselves. But with I can only speak for our group. We have a group that wants to see other people get saved, wants to serve because they want to mimic their Savior. They want to become like Christ. For the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and give his life as a ransom for many. That's our students. Our students want to serve. They served at VBS, and all the chants that they had for me. I know that's really jokingly, but that's one of the memories that I'm gonna have a hard time getting out of my head is the chants and the nightmares of them chanting my name to get slimed. Yeah. So VBS, the mission trip, and also Fun Day Monday. A lot of the guys, even the phone party was one of mine of coming after a doctor's appointment and seeing all the high school guys, really all the football players. I'm like, dude, you just got out of practice and you're out here serving God. Man, that's a huge testimony because they could have went home, went to bed. They're already sweaty and they worked out, but they saw that coming to serve in Breeze's ministry and getting to know those kids was more important than serving themselves. So that was a highlight for me.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. The Alaska mission trip, all those things you mentioned, man, they were really awesome. I too enjoyed the foam party.
Oh yeah.
A great time there. One of my absolute favorite memories of the summertime. And talking about Isaac having his name chanted so much, I think we should bring it back. Isaac, 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 Isaac. Watch out! Trigger!
Also, the fact that we all got slimed.
Yeah.
So,
that was a cool.
So it wasn't just
That
me.
actually was kind of cool.
Shout out to Richard Bass. You're my best friend.
Yeah, it was a really cool moment. For those of you who don't know, of course, being Southern Baptist Church, Vacation Bible School, the traditional guys versus girls, and the three of us, we were on the line for slime, and of course the girls won again. But this time they won not because they wanted to see me and Caleb get slimed. It really was because they all wanted to see Isaac get slimed. And so even our guys from the church were putting money into the girls' bucket because they were all chanting Isaac's name to get slimed. But the last night we said if anybody matches what the kids have raised, which was right at that $1,300 I think. $1,400. Our kids had given $1,400 to a missions organization locally, and we said if somebody can match that, then not just the three of us, but the three girls will also
Plus
Brianna Cagle will also get slimed, and somebody from the congregation matched that, and so we all got hit with the slime. It was truly a great moment. Honestly, it was worth being slimed, and so we're thankful for that time. VBS was a lot of fun. So we'll now run down there to Breeze and see if she's been able to decipher out of her many memories.
Yeah. See, I think that's the difficult part is because honestly, it was just such a good summer. I've obviously been at Flat Creek my whole life, so this has just been like, church has always been a safe place for me, a place I loved coming from the time I was a kid to my adult life. And for a long time, I didn't like my job or what I was doing, and I was always praying, like, Lord, I pray you just open the door for something for me to do, because, you know, I knew I loved kids, and I knew that I didn't really want to be like a school teacher. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just prayed for years that God would open a door for me. And so when the job opened at Flat Creek, I immediately felt like, all right, this is what I should do, but I was unsure. I was like, you know, I don't know, Lord. And, you know, after a lot of prayer and then just some guidance, you know, I'm so thankful that, you know, God opened that door, because it's the coolest thing being able to be here for forever and then being able to now be a part of the ministry here. I mean, it is such a blessing. I mean, I don't even know where to start with thinking of one specific thing. But one of, I think, the big things for me is just having the Fun Day Mondays in the summer and having the Wednesdays with the kids. That was such a blessing to me. Being able to get to know these kids more. A lot of them I already knew, but being able to have new faces in there and being able to love on them has just been a blessing. I know when we went to Alaska, we got to do a VBS there, and I know while we were there, the kids there were great, but Ashley Turk sent me a video of one of the little girls sending me I missed one of our Fun Day Mondays bowling, and she sent me a video of them saying that they missed me and that they loved me, and I was just about in tears over that, because I really am so thankful to be a part of that. I mean, I just love those kids with everything that I have. Something that I feel like was a highlight was something I actually wasn't even there for, but my mom was working in nursery one day, and one of the little boys was in there with his mom talking to my mom, and she was talking to him about me, and she said that he was like, you know, Breeze just always has a smile on her face. Miss Breeze is just always happy. And my mom was like, that's so great to hear, you know? And he said, well, do you know why? You know why she's always happy? And she said, why? And he said, because she's infested with Jesus. And I was just like, oh, that's just like, oh, I'm going to live on that for the rest of my life, I think. But because truly, I mean, as much as I love these kids, the biggest thing for me is that I just want them to see Jesus in me. You know, that's where that love and that's where that joy, I mean, they all are like, how do you have so much energy all the time? I'm like, truthfully, it's not me. Like, it's not me coming out, you know, that's what I want church to be for these kids, is a place for them to come and have fun, where they can learn about Jesus and also know without a doubt that they are so loved. One of the other days that I think meant a lot to me was we did a little lesson on love. I talk about love, I think, all the time, but you know, that's what
Yes.
it's supposed to be about.
Yes.
But
We have come to find that you love love.
yeah, I do. Not just my dog, but you know, just love in general. But one of the things that we were talking about is how God created us all as masterpieces. You know, we are all unique when, you know, He made us all for different purposes. And so I had each of the kids come up and say different things that they loved about each other. And I think something that blessed my heart a lot was there was a girl, and it was her first Sunday there. None of the kids had really talked to her, hung out with her before. And she came up, and I was a little nervous because I was having the kids raise their hands, and I was like, oh no, this is her first day. I don't want people to not raise their hands. And so she got up there, and as soon as she got up there, everybody's raising their hands to say things they loved about her. And I think that just made my heart happy, because that's what, you know, I feel like church should be, a place where they can build each other up, a place where they can love each other. And that's just been kind of my goal in the last few months. But I mean, God has just done some really incredible things. We have seen growth, and I'm so thankful that He has brought families here, that He has brought kids here. It really just has been a blessing. And working with all three of these people, I can say, you know, I feel like before, if I was having a hard time in my life, you know, whether it be college, I felt like a lot of that struggle was really hard to deal with, you know, but being here, I feel like there's constant encouragement from everybody. There's constant love, you know. We're a team, and, you know, whether that be accountability or just building each other up, sending each other, praying with each other, that is such a blessing to be able to work with people who are willing to have your back and willing to, you know, hold you up. So it has just been a very, very good summer. So
Very good.
Sorry,
Very-
that was a lot
that's
of
all
rambling.
right. That's
but
all right. That we would all be infested with Jesus. That's I remember you telling us that story, and when you told us that story, Summer, my wife said, she said, we should definitely put that on a T-shirt. Infested with Jesus, and honestly, that should be really a prayer that all of us would that people would see Jesus in us. That's one of Caleb's favorite passages of the scripture that he constantly has brought up over the last couple of years, and that comes from 2 Corinthians chapter 2. Praise be unto God who always puts us on display in Christ, and through us spreads the aroma of him in every place, and that people would know that Christ is in us by the way that we live our lives. Bree's brought up right there about just really that atmosphere of love that really is not just in the children's department here at Flat Creek, and that's one thing that I love about us as a church is that is really not just a group of people who are coming together, but we're really a family, and we just really care about each other, and that's unique. A lot of times in our world, people are really standoffish, and a lot of times people, they don't want to let you in. But thankfully here, we do have a culture that just really is like, hey, it's a safe place. You can come, you can be a part, and we actually do care about you. We care about what's going on in your life, and we want to just carry those burdens with you and walk through life with you. And I appreciate all three of these individuals and just how they really continually create that DNA and culture here at Flat Creek, and certainly thankful for how God is using each one of them. That's always a highlight for me as the pastor of the church, is to be able to just see how God's using them in their respective ministries, because at the end of the day, I can't do what I do if they're not doing what they do. And so I praise God for each one of them, and just really just praise God for the work that he's doing in their lives. I would say for me, the one highlight of the summer for myself, and really there are many. I mean, good gracious, we can go all the way back to just getting into July and just really, or the month of June, Vacation Bible School, all those things coming into, Brother Caleb, you'll remember this memory, and that was the barbecue eating contest, or not eating contest, the barbecue cook-off. And which, by the way, not just that, but the blueberry pie eating contest, watching all those people eat, well, it was apple pie, ended up being apple pie. But watching all those people eat the pies, and I don't know about y'all, but that feels like a year ago. I mean, that feels like forever ago. Not just that, but like the Vacation Bible School parade. How much fun was that?
Oh, yeah.
Going to the Gwinnett Stripers game.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was like 10 years ago for sure. I mean, it just seems like so long ago. But I would say for me, coming through the summer and all the things that we have done and experienced, really the highlight for me is looking back at the month of July and the fact that we were able to baptize 29 people in the month of July alone. And just, that to me is just, it's amazing to baptize that many people in 1 month. And I can remember one Sunday, I think we were baptizing maybe 11 or something like that. And I can remember one of our deacons saying, he said, man, 11 people, that's a good year. And truly, 11 people, if you could baptize 11 people, that's a one person a month. You would say, hey, we've done something. But to baptize 11 in a day, but then 29 in a month. But the one that stands out to me the most is going back to Alaska.
Yeah.
Is just at the very, very end of the trip. And what was so cool about that trip in Alaska was to see, we went and all of us were there. So it was really a cool experience for all of us to be able to be there together. We took 39 people, a large group going to Alaska, of course, and we were just doing all these different mission projects. But we saw 9 people give their heart to Christ during that time. 4 of those were our own youth. 5 of those were people from Alaska that we were ministering to. We also saw 4 of our own youth called into ministry, which was just truly a blessing to see that on the trip. And so just being there and experiencing that. But as that week progressed and we're coming all the way to the very end, we get to the very last night. Really the only thing left to do is we're closing up at the church that we're helping. We're getting on a van. We're going to go baptize 2 more kids, and then we're going to go get onto the airplane and fly home. This is really getting close to midnight. It's really late at this point. And so we're right to the very last few moments. Everybody has gone out and got on the vans. Bags are packed. Everybody's ready to go. There were maybe about 6 people left in the church that we were helping. And just at that time, my son Tucker, he's 17, he walked over to me and he just said, "Daddy, I need to talk to you for a minute." And I said, "Okay." And, he said, I promise you what I'm going to talk to you about is not what you would expect. And so I really didn't know, to be honest, like what he was going to say at that moment. And he said, "But Daddy, I need to rededicate my life. I need to rededicate my life to Jesus." And I said, "Okay, well, let's talk about that for a moment." And so he and I went and sat down, and really, honestly, we were in a hurry. Like we were trying to go because we did have to get to the airport and those things. And so I almost just like, okay, we'll pray to rededicate your life and let's just move on. But anytime that somebody comes to me and says, "Daddy, I need," or not Daddy, but anytime somebody comes to me and says, "Pastor, I need to rededicate my life," I'm always going to ask them this question. Well, let's make sure that what you're doing here let's just make sure that you were actually saved in the past. And let's make sure that what's happening here isn't like God actually calling you to himself. And like I say, I almost skipped that with Tucker just because, I know him, I know his heart, I know the way he lives his life. And so I really was just like, okay. But I went ahead and asked him anyway. I just said, "Tucker, like you do know that you were saved when you were a little boy." And we started talking through that. He kind of relived what had happened when he was a child and talked about the prayer that he prayed then and what he knew and really came to a point through that discussion where, we determined that really what he needed was to rededicate his life. And so just right then, me and Tucker were about to pray for his rededication. I said, "Just pray and just rededicate your life to Christ." And I'll never forget the moment that Tucker looked at me and he said, "Daddy, there's just one more thing that just bothers me." And I said, well, what is it? And he said, "Well, when I sin, it doesn't hurt." And when he told me that, I just looked back at him and said, "Well, then Tucker, you need to give your life to Christ." And so right there in the front of Baxter Road Church in Anchorage, Alaska, 17 years old, Tucker gives his life to Jesus. He joined with the other 2 that were going to be baptized that night in that freezing cold river in Alaska. But we were able to baptize at like 1 a.m. in the morning or something like that. But what was really cool was when we came back. So we got back on Saturday afternoon, immediately come to church Sunday, and shared that story in both of our services that day, and watching 7 people give their life to Christ and say, that when you shared that story of Tucker and, not being bothered by sin, it just really resonated with me because sin doesn't bother me either. And I've wrestled with this assurance and I need to give my life to Christ. And watching as 7 people then got saved. And then, the following Tuesday, another young person gives his life to Christ, and then his brother gives his life to Christ, and then their dad rededicates his life, and then just how that one story of Tucker, like just, it just kind of just, it was like a snowball effect of watching other people. And so, saying that, you've heard all these testimonies today of all the great things that God has done just in our midst here at Flat Creek. And as always, anytime that Caleb and I have ever done the Wednesday Word, we always give a plea to come to Christ because we never know who might be watching right now. And somebody might just be scrolling through Facebook, somebody that's a friend of ours or whatever, they're just scrolling through and they come through and they watch this, and maybe somebody has heard something that just in their own heart, they say, I've never given my life to Christ. And if that's you, we certainly want you to contact us. You can drop a comment on the live stream, or you can contact us through personal message or whatever, because we would love to come alongside of you and just help you to give your life to the Lord Jesus as well. And here's the thing, summertime is over, but God's work isn't over.
Yep.
And when I say summertime, I just mean the kids have gone back to school. Of course, it is still so hot here in Georgia, so hot. To Caleb's enjoyment, it is brutal, and we know summer's not over in terms of the season, but kids are back in school. But the work of Christ goes on. We still have a lot going on. And so, real quick, do y'all have any announcements y'all would like to make about your ministries? Maybe when people can get involved in those things over the next couple of days, the next couple of weeks, so that people can just, come alongside of y'all. So
you go first, Breeze.
Okay. Well, right now, starting tonight, we have Awanas. So that's from 5:45 to in the basement of the fellowship hall over there in our children's department. That starts at, I believe, 2 or 3. Yes, I don't know why I'm looking at you guys for my answer. It starts at 2 or 3 and goes all the way up to 5th grade. So we would love for you
I was
to
so
be...
confused. I thought you meant 2 or 3 o'clock.
I was so confused.
No. 2 or 3 years old.
Okay, I got it.
And all the way up to 5th grade.
Right
So
out
we
of
would
school.
love for you or your kiddos to come and be involved. We've got a really good team of volunteers, a really good team of helpers. We are very, very thankful. Miss Linda leads that, and she is incredible. She does an amazing job.
She's a rock star.
She is the best. I'm sorry if you hear my dog barking out
Hey, your
there.
child's barking.
She is. She's concerned why I'm stuck in here. But that's what we have going on right now, and I will conclude and let her in the door.
Brother Caleb, anything about choir, music?
Yes, September the 6th, we're having an open house rehearsal. So if you have been on the fence about whether or not you want to come be a part of the choir, that is your opportunity just to come check it out. It will be a very low pressure deal. We're just going to hang out, have a good time. We will sing a few songs, but they'll be songs that we all know and love. And here's love. And things that you'll be able to catch on to and just really get a feel for whether or not you want to be a part of that ministry. That is September 6th. Also, Emma has posted something on Facebook for us today. Just a kind of new thing we're trying out. We want to know what worship songs y'all listen to all the time, whether they be old hymns, whether they be songs that were written yesterday, any style, any feel, anything you want. Just let us know. We put one on there that's actually coming up Sunday, so y'all give that one a listen, and you can comment below on this video or on that post and just let us know what you got going on.
Yeah, and just real quick, you don't have to wait until September to join the choir. If you would like to join now, Caleb and them, they're practicing tonight at
you don't
7
have to
o'clock.
wait. Yep,
so you can come tonight at 7 and be a part.
All are welcome.
Be a part of the choir if you'd like to be, or if you play a musical instrument, you can let him know. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to get you in the rotation. Brother Isaac?
So youth starting back. I'm excited for that. We're walking through Nehemiah, talking about the power of prayer. And I think that's like I told Aubrey, my beautiful wife, she's not home, she's at work, but whatever. I think prayer is probably one of the most underutilized tools in the quote-unquote Christian's tool belt. So I want to give that, open that avenue up for the students. That starts at 5:50, and also dinner starting at 5, right?
5 o'clock.
So dinner starting at 5. Come hang out. We're going to play basketball. We're going to have a good time. And Philip Griffith, is it Griffith or Griffith?
Yes,
Griffith. He's going to be leading worship tonight. So I'm excited to get that started back. So
love that guy.
Man, he's a stud. And what else? I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, you see, we got a lot going on. We would love for you to come over tonight and join us. As Isaac said, 5 o'clock, everything starts. And we'd love for you to be a part and just come in and join us. Also, just real quick, want to go ahead and plug Revival coming up in the month of October, October 1st through 4th. Big tent revival right here on our property, and you don't want to miss that. And there'll be a lot of things in between here and now, but just want you to be a part of what God's doing at Flat Creek. So all are invited. All are welcome. You can come to either of our worship services, 8:30 or 11 o'clock every Sunday, and just come in and join us and see what God is doing here at Flat Creek. We'd be just truly blessed to have you come and be a part. So saying all those things, I think we did it, man. I think we kept it in about a 45-minute window, which was our goal, and that's never happened before.
Miracles still happen.
And they do happen sometimes. So thank y'all so much for joining us on the Wednesday Word. Anybody else, anything?
Nope.
One more round of applause on the way out.
have a good afternoon. We'll see you next